Did you know? What is one of the most random facts? Random facts that you know? Let's hear it. Let's hear it then. Give me those random facts. Random facts. Impressive. Very impressive. What band are you embarrassed to admit that you listen to? What band are you embarrassed to admit that you listen to? What band are you embarrassed to admit that you listen to? What band are you so embarrassed to admit? No judgments here. What was one of your most gullible moments? What was one of your most gullible moments? Gullible, like you fell for something that you should have known was a falsity. What was one of your most gullible moments? Get out of town. I would have fallen for it too, probably. Okay, now. What is one of the craziest things that you've ever done? What is one of the craziest things that you've ever done? The craziest. What is one of the craziest things that you've ever done? Ever. Crazy. Crazy is in the eye of the perceiver, of course, but whatever you classify as crazy. Loco. Wow. If you could get a ticket to any event or show for free, what would you want to get a ticket to do? Get a ticket to any event or show for free. What would you want to get that free ticket to do? Free ticket to any event or show for free. Where do you want to get that free ticket to? Nice choice. Support all your choices. Who understands you better than anyone else? Who understands you better than anybody else? Who understands you, really understands you better than anybody else? Absolutely. My money's on you. What stereotype about you is true? What stereotype about you is true? What stereotype about you? What stereotype about you is true? If you could witness any event in history, what would it be? If you could witness any event in history, what would it be? Any event. I completely forgot about that event. Thank you for reminding me of it. That would be a cool one to see. I agree. Just hit me with all the knowledge. All the knowledge. Who do you feel like you know, even though you've never met them? Who do you feel like you know, even though you haven't never met them? Who do you feel like you know, even though you haven't never met them? I do give off that je ne sais quoi. What is something that you are proud to have learned lately? What is something that you are proud to have learned lately? What is something that you are proud to have learned lately? Something you are proud to have learned lately. I feel like that's pretty hard to learn, right? Impressive. is your spirit animal? What is your spirit animal? A frog. A worm. Octopus. The cool one. I think they can definitely shift through the different chapters of life too, right? As you grow, you have a new spirit animal. It's not a forever animal. Right? Who makes those rules? I don't know. Who do we consult? What are some of the cringiest words? What are some of the cringiest words? What are some of the cringiest words? Yuck. Don't worry, I won't say them as triggers. I mean, they would trigger you just in a different way. Nobody wants that. Ain't nobody got time for that. What past experience did you take for granted? What past experience did you take for granted? What past experience did you take for granted? Yeah, I mean, you're in it, and then you're out of it, and then you're looking back, and you wish you were back in it. I'm really deep. Next one, right? Next one. What celebrity is overrated? What celebrity do you think is overrated? What celebrity is overrated? Which celebrity? Overrated. Mel Gibson. I'll stop feeding my answers. What is one of the funniest things that has happened to you in the last month? What is one of the funniest things that has happened to you in the last month? What is one of the things that has happened to you in the last month? something that you failed at? And did you learn any important lessons along the way? What is something that you failed at? And did you learn any important lessons along the way? Something you failed at. Did you learn any important lessons along the way? Which culture would you like to learn more about? Which culture? Which culture would you like to learn more about? Do you believe people have a higher calling in life? Do you believe that people have a higher calling in life? Do you believe that people have a higher calling in life? Do you believe that people have a higher calling in life? If you could join one music group, past or present, which would it be? If you could join one music group, past or present, which would it be? Think of all the memories you would have being part of that music group. Very unique memories. What assumption did you make that turned out to be completely wrong? What assumption did you make? Assumption that turned out to be completely wrong. What assumption did you make that turned out to be completely wrong? A common mistake. What would be the first few things that you would want to try if you found out you could never be injured? You could never be injured. What are the first few things that you would want to try? Well, there's a list. That would be quite a feat to not get injured. I've never thought about that before, but that's incredible. You could do so many things. You could do so many things. Who is your most interesting teacher, good or bad? Who is your most interesting teacher, good or bad? What is a song that gets you motivated? What is a song that gets you motivated? Motivated. What is a song that gets you motivated? something funny